saying you can start pore breathing. And something to note about the element of earth is that it is a slower element. It is more inert. You may not find that you're getting lots of energy from doing this, but you might start feeling kind of tired. You might feel kind of sluggish, and you have to work to overcome that inertia. Like, you have to consciously want to overcome that inertia when you're working with that element. Some will say start with fire, which is fine, but I don't agree with it. Especially if you have like unresolved issues in yourself that you may not even be aware of. You might find yourself becoming a very volatile person. I know that when we eventually got to the grade of fire and we started doing the fire element, I became very volatile. And the same happened in air. Okay. But in earth, it's kind of slow. You might find yourself having a greater love for life. You know, like you might start wanting to enjoy tasty foods, tasty beverages, you know, all of the good stuff, all the luxuries in life, the things that make life feel so good. Those are all the things that come with earth. Okay. So you can start pore breathing the element in nature so that you can start to tune into that element. Then, in the meantime, you can make your tattva for earth, and it's a simple yellow square. If you want to be elaborate and have flashing colors like the image that I put on Facebook, go for it. Those flashing colors make it more vibrant, and you can make your tattva during this time. You can, if you're on a budget, go get some bright yellow construction paper. If you want to make it flash, get some purple construction paper. Make that yellow square slightly smaller than the purple square. Put it on top so you have a nice purple border there so that the image flashes for you. Okay, the flashing isn't necessary, but it helps me a lot personally. That's just a personal note. So you make your tattva. If you can start working on your simple invocations to invoke these elements. Okay, are you ready to go out there now? The lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram rather than the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. The problem with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is that it's like screaming in the faces of all your spirits, like, get the fuck out of my house, every day. Instead, like lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram will bring in positive energies just through the very nature of the pentagram. I would recommend, if you want to do a pentagram ceremony every day, do the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram. Very easy to do. You could learn it in like a day if you really wanted to apply yourself to it. It is not difficult. Maybe I'll do a video demonstrating the lesser. So, you're going to need, for this ceremony, your tattva. You're going to need your water and incense. Okay? And you might want to have a dagger. It might behoove you. And and if you can't have a dagger, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You could, in place of the dagger, you could even have a fan, like the Chinese fans. Please do. We'll see about that, Nikki. I might do it. Yeah, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is a very unnecessary ritual to be doing daily. It's something that I would only recommend doing if you have a persistent energy that you can't get out of your space and you don't have the time to do a proper cleaning. That's when the banishing ritual is fine. Like, you know that there's something in your space, doesn't belong there. It's like, get the fuck out right now because I have other things to do. That's when you use that ceremony. Invoking, always invoking. Okay? If you feel like, I do recommend that you clean yourself once a week. If you're doing regular invoking rituals, you do like a spiritual bath once a week, or you clean yourself with leaves or eggs or whatever. You want to clean yourself. That's just good hygiene. But we don't banish every day. It's completely unnecessary. And I think it's a reason why a lot of people that get turned off by this system of magic, because they're doing these banishing rituals every day. I mean, let's be real. they're not even necessarily races. These are things that are like kind of in the foundation of all reality. It's not like a jinn versus a daimon, okay, or a jinn versus an angel. When we get to these like elemental beings, they are very basic in all cultures. I used the Tatwas, and I saw European, what would be described as European spirits at one time. Another time, when I did the Tatwas a few years later after I was in Voodoo, and I saw the gnomes. They all looked like Gedes, but they were all these like little midget-looking Gedes, like showing up in little suits and hats and all that stuff. So really, it's colored by you and how you're going to interpret these entities. So, getting back on track, the big thing to learn is the invoking earthen pentagram. Okay, so they would draw a circle in the air as long as your arm, so like the full length of your arm, fully extended, and then you draw the equalizing pentagram of spirit first, saying the holy name Agla. Okay, and then you draw the invoking pentagram of earth, and you can just say the divine names. You can just say Adonai Malek, Adonai Haaretz. Boom. And then you trace the sign of Taurus in the center of that pentagram, saying the name Oriel. Now, the Golden Dawn, they did work with Enochian god names and Enochian spirits, and it's not necessary, and I understand if some people have some reservations toward those names. You can work this entire system and leave out the Enochian. I will include it. You don't need to go out and build Enochian tablets. You can print them up. You can hand draw them, but like, I don't know. They're not really necessary. I made all this work with just the Hebraic names and just through conjuration alone. So I wouldn't worry about necessarily the needing the Enochian side of the invocations, especially if you have some reservations about it. Enochian magic is powerful, and nobody seems to know what it's good for. That's not a disrespect to the system. It's or those spirits. There are definitely spirits that answer to those names. A lot of them are actually the Hebraic spirits. We did a ceremony to scry Ehenube, which is like the supreme spirit over the tablets, and we saw Metatron because we'd done a ceremony for Metatron a few weeks prior to that, and when we did the Ehenube, we're like, all right, let's do Ehenube. This is going to be so cool, and we see Metatron. So I think that they're just the same spirits answering under different names, but it's a very it's one of those systems where I feel like if you make a mistake, you're going to really, really know you made a mistake. There seems to be a lot of consequences with the Enochian magic. And I'm here mostly to focus on talking about this Golden Dawn stuff and kind of unpacking it for you to make it a little bit easier for you, because, I mean, I haven't met even a lot of Golden Dawn people that can simply explain how their magic works. When I told Chick Cicero, when I met him, like, that I was going through the grade ceremonies and using them to scry the elements, he just looked at me like, huh, okay. Like he'd never considered it before. And I wasn't interested in Golden Dawn. If anything, I was interested in that AA stuff, not Alcoholics Anonymous, but Crowley's Order, the AA. Because I was just really passionate about magic and very intense in my studies. So, once you've invoked the element, you can do the middle pillar, you can pour breathe, and once you feel yourself full of that element, then at that moment, that's when you start scrying.